Let's do an Uncle Sam hat. Dollar Tree has like a couple different variations of this hat. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I'm going to cover it with some more of that wonderful burlap from the 4th of July this year. And I want to do like one part of the hat stars, one part of the hat red. That's what I'm going to do. I kind of wanted stripes, but they didn't have a red and white stripe one, and so we're just going to go with a red. I start by just replacing the hanger. I'm going to decorate the back of this so I don't have to worry about all of the glitter and all the crazy stuff going on the other side, right? So I feed this in. Now I end up hanging this a different way, so you can skip this step. But this is how I started with, because I thought I'm going to need to attach the hanger now because I'm going to attach the burlap onto the sign. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to make this like an Uncle Sam gnome, but I already have an Uncle Sam gnome from my last video, and I really love that one, so I'm just going to make it an Uncle Sam hat. So you might want to iron your burlap first. I probably should have done that first. What I'm doing is just kind of sketching out with a Sharpie on the burlap itself, a little bit wider than the top of the hat. That way I can cut that off and not have any of the Sharpie on my fabric. So then I'm just going to go ahead and cut the top of the hat on the inside of that Sharpie line to cut out the top of the hat. Since it's burlap and it frays, I wanted to cut everything first so I could work with it kind of as little as possible. So as you can see, the wrinkles in this do kind of interfere with your cutting, so you're probably going to want to iron it first. I do end up ironing it, but later. Now for the bottom of the hat, I wanted to use the red to kind of make it look like an Uncle Sam hat. Those colors kind of reminded me of that. I thought about painting white stripes on this to make it look like the flag, and you totally could, so that's an option, but I ended up just using red. So same thing, I just lay my hat on there. I'm going to cut out a piece of burlap a little bit larger, like I do about a ½ inch out, and then just cut inside the line just like that. And it's going to get me pretty close, right? For the top of the hat, I just kind of have to guess. So I just cut out what I know and then just kind of go from side to side. And I have like a long red oval. Then I was like, you know what, girl, you got to iron this burlap. And I have my Cricut Easy Press on my craft center. And honestly, I use this more for crafting and for Dollar Tree fabric and burlap than I use it for anything else now that I have my fancy auto press in the other room. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this to make it flatter. It's going to make it easier to attach and make it look better in the final DIY. But I don't want to make it fray too much, so I'm trying not to work with it too much if I can. And now we can go ahead and start attaching this, putting this together. Now, the other side kind of shows you how the hat's supposed to look. It's supposed to kind of look a little bit more 3D, so I'm going to do a strap between the red and the stars. But for now, I can have a little bit of space there that I can cover up with the strap, right? I'm just going to leave this part whole, the oval down here, and I just Mod Podged that on. I did enough Mod Podge so that it will stick nicely, but I don't really necessarily want that coming through the burlap if I can help it. And then this is the top part. I'm going to start going ahead and glue the whole thing down, and then I'll kind of trim the fabric so I don't have like layered fabric there where it kind of overlaps at the brim of the hat. So a nice coat of Mod Podge, smoothing this out. I can always trim up any fraying, and that's when I realized I don't really want those bumps like behind my burlap, so I went ahead and removed the hanger, and we'll just attach the hanger to the back of the sign. That way it'll look cleaner. And then I just cut off the overlapping fabric here so it's nice and flat. And it's already looking so much better than it did before. I'm not a fan of the glitter and stuff like that there on the back and that pattern, but I can kind of use that as a guide there for the strap that I'm going to make. And once I get it glued on, I can go ahead and trim my burlap, making that look so much better, just trimming the edges. And it shouldn't fray anymore. I did think about going around and framing it out with Dollar Tree rope, and you really could. But I just didn't think it needed it. I thought it was kind of fine on its own. So I do have to replace the hanger though because we did remove it. So to do that, I'm just going to take the twine and knot it and glue it into the existing holes here in the back. It's a Dollar Tree sign, so it's pretty light. It's not going to take a lot to hold it. And we're going to do the same thing here on the other side. That way it'll be hidden and no bumps underneath my burlap. If you wanted to go all the way through, you could go through all the burlap too. Now, I thought about using some of the faux leather for the strap, but I didn't really like how it looked. So I'm going to use Dollar Tree rope. You could also, I guess, just use plain burlap, but I wanted it to have that curvy pattern that the strap had on the other side. So I thought rope would be better to get that curvy shape, but I'm going to have to use a lot of it to make my strap wide enough for the size of this Uncle Sam hat. So I am cutting it. I'm not wrapping it all the way around. I want it to be flat hanging against the wall. And so I'm just cutting each piece down to size first, hot gluing it on until we get enough of a strap. And this is a great use for any spare rope you have. I have a million pieces of scrap rope because, you know, save those scraps. You never know when you're going to need them. And then I'm going to do a total, I think, 5 to make it wide enough for what I want to do. So that looks coastal and cute and is a nice strap there for Uncle Sam hat. And then I want to finish it off with, of course, a starfish for another little coastal touch. This is a Dollar Tree Shore Living starfish. I'm going to paint it, so I probably should have done that before I glued it down. But I went ahead and hot glued that in place because at first I was like, oh, red, white, and blue. I can just leave it white. And then my son and I were like, it needs something. We're like, it needs flag stripes. So we're going to do flag stripes with a red paint pen here carefully, since I already have it attached, on my starfish. Now, starfishes usually are patterned like radially, and so that's what we're going to do with ours. I thought at first about just making stripes go straight across it, but that wouldn't really make sense for a starfish. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the center red. And then I'll be able to do 2 stripes on each one of the starfish rays. So I'm trying to go around enough on this, but not enough to get any paint on my rope. That's why I really should have done this before I attached it to the sign, but you know. I'm going to do 2 stripes on each one. And it's really cute little flag pattern for a starfish, and I think it's going to be the perfect final touch for this project. My son really got a kick out of painting the starfish like this. He said it looked like a flag, but it also kind of looks like a candy cane. He's like, you should do that again for Christmas. I probably will. I love decorating coastal for Christmas. And that looks pretty good. I was trying to decide if I should leave it like that or if I needed a little white in the middle. Then I decided I was a little heavy on the red right there in the middle, right? So I'm going to go in there with a white paint pen and fill in the middle section white, but I want to keep that first stripe on each one of my rays. So I did a circle and then I'm just kind of like filling in the area in between each one and then just kind of shading it to kind of make it make sense. And we have a fun flag striped starfish. I think it was the perfect final touch for Uncle Sam hat. What do you guys think about this one? And if you did want to make yours a gnome, you could use like macrame cord, mop head, any of the different kind of mop heads to make a fun beard on there. Just add a nose as well, and that'd be really cute too. But I kind of like the simplicity of just the Uncle Sam hat. Very cute, very subtle, kind of like the sailboat. Now this one is so simple, and these are the starfish from the Shore Living line. Of course, I picked up red, white, and blue because the Shore Living line comes out so close to 4th of July, and their stuff is so much cuter than the 4th of July stuff at Dollar Tree. And this is just a no-brainer. Let's make a fun little wall garland with the red, white, and blue starfish. They already have these great, really sturdy rope hangers on them, so let's just go ahead and use them. And they're nice and thick wood starfish too, so you can definitely use a staple gun. So I am just going to staple that, making sure that is secure right there to the back of the red starfish, and we're going to do the same thing with the blue to the white. I thought about knotting the twine, but it ended up not really needing to, and I wanted it to hang flat. So I didn't want any extra knots back there if I could avoid it. And that is so simple. You can use this for an outdoor hanging. You can use this, I think I'm going to use mine for a wall hanging. Very subtle. The red, white, and blue is definitely patriotic. And it's really, really cute. It doesn't scream like crazy 4th of July decorations, but I like it. I thought about adding a little bit of that mesh ribbon that looks like fishnet behind it, but we ended up actually just doing it like this, a very simple little starfish wall hanging for the 4th of July.